Welcome back. I'm here with beekeeper Tom Carey from T&S Bee Farm. He's part of the SWGA Beekeepers. And if you've ever wanted to know what it takes to be a beekeeper, you can go to bee school. And it's completely free. It's happening at SWGA at the Swamp House on April 6th from 9 to 4. And how's it going? What are you going to be doing that day?
Well, basically, we're going to meet in the morning at 9 o'clock. We're going to start with some lectures, get people introduced to what beekeeping is, what bee tools are, like, you know, what a hive tool is, what your smoker does, how to light one. And then around 1 o'clock, well, at noon, we're going to take a break. Everyone has to go get some lunch. You're on your own for lunch. And then come back around 1 o'clock. We're going to go out to the bee yard. At SWGA, the club has 6 beehives now. We have some regular Langstroth hives, and then we have a top bar hive that we just started, which is a different way of keeping bees. And we're just going to spend a lot of time with the bees.
Now, if they have a bee, I'm going to call it a costume.
Bee suit.
Bee suit. Do they need to bring that?
They should if they have one. Otherwise, club members are going to be bringing bee suits and making sure everyone's protected and in the proper attire.
Now, I just got this image of someone actually coming dressed as a bee because I said a bee costume, which didn't think through beforehand.
We had a bee at the parade year before last. So.
Well, that's very appropriate, but we're talking about that white suit with the hat right there.
The veil?
Yes. See, I
hat and veil, but it's a hat.
Yes, and so, but all of this is so fascinating, and you were actually telling me that it is swarm season.
Yes, it is. It's spring.
What is that?
Well, when bees swarm, it's not like the movie The Swarm where they're going after you, and it's not an attacking kind of a thing. It's asexual reproduction. It's just a way for a beehive that has grown strong and healthy to reproduce and create another beehive. So the bees will say, hey, we've got too many kinfolk in here, so it's time for some of you to move out. They'll raise a new queen. That queen will leave with about half the bees. They'll take to the air. You see all those bees flying in the air. They'll clump up onto a tree branch. And this is a tree branch that they clumped up onto but never found a home. But usually what will happen is rather than staying on the branch, they find a home. The scouts have been out. They already have a new home location picked. They'll move in. And so a couple hours after you see that swarm, usually next morning, they're gone.
Isn't that fascinating? I think that is just so neat to be able to see that they're like, too many people in here, we're kicking you out. But they take care of them. They raise a new queen. They get it all going, and they send out scouts to locate. It's really cute. I love this.
It's everyone thinks the queen makes the decisions. It's actually all the worker bees who decide. They decide there's too many bees. They decide they need a new queen. They decide everything.
That is very fascinating. Well, I'm so glad you're able to talk with us about it this morning. If people are interested in going to bee school, do they need to register?
Well, it'd be nice if they'd go to the website, which is SWGAbeekeepers.org, and they can email or call any of the numbers on the website, but all they really need to do is show up at the Swamp House at 9 o'clock.
All right, very good. Well, we're going to be back in just a little bit learning more about bee school, so stick with us, but on over to Carey. With Tom Carey from T&S Bee Farm and SWGA Beekeepers, and we've been talking all about their bee school. It's absolutely free. It's going on April 6th from 9 to 4 at SWGA's Swamp House. But I got a couple questions for you, Tom, about bees, because it's just amazing all of the things about bees, and you could talk forever, I'm sure, about it.
Sure can.
Is there a bee season?
Yes. For us, the bee season starts in around January. That's when the bees are getting ready for spring. They start to raise brood. And as soon as those pollen counts start going up that all the allergy sufferers are concerned about, we love it. Because that means the bees are bringing in protein. That pollen is protein for their young baby bees to eat. So they're feeding that pollen to the baby bees. So we need the pollen. Now, if you're an allergy sufferer, find some local honey, eat it. Eat that spring wildflower honey from last year that I still have. That's the stuff, because you eat that, it has all that pollen in it from last year's pollen flow. And you become immune to it.
Very, very good tips. Love that one. Okay, now let's get to the nitty-gritty here.
Nitty-gritty.
Everybody's scared of bees. They're this big, but it hurts when they sting you.
Well, you know, if that little bee didn't make it a little bit hard to steal that honey, it'd just be too easy, and it'd take all the fun out of it. But really, a bee does not want to sting you. She loses her life when she stings you, so she doesn't want to die. And the only time a bee will really sting someone is when you're disturbing their home. So if you see a beehive or lots of bees coming and going from a log or a tree, just leave it alone. If you have bees coming and going from an eave in your house, typically if they're not bothering you, just leave them alone.
Okay.
If you get a bee in your car, roll down the window. It'll leave. It really just is looking for home again. And don't swat, because when they see all that motion, it makes them nervous, and then they might sting.
Okay, I was going to say, you don't want to make them mad, is that?
Well, don't swat. They're never mad. They don't have emotions.
Okay.
They're either defending themselves or they're foraging.
I see. Well, thank you so much for talking to us this
problem.
morning. Those are some really, really great tips. Again, it's there. SWGA Beekeepers Bee School. It's free. You got to bring your own lunch or go out to lunch during the lunch break, though. It's April 6th from 9 to 4 at Cheeha's Swamp House, and you guys can find out more information on the SWGA Beekeepers website. And we'll be right back again. Tom Carey, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll be right back. Stick with us.